Yo, before we get into this episode, just wanted to say thank you guys so much for the support in the past few months. I mean, you asked me 2 months ago where I'd be, and I'd be probably saying still just kind of doing this on the side and not really having much following, which, I mean, if you look at my stats, I don't really have that much of a following, but you guys have just been so supportive. I can't thank y'all enough, and we've got a huge guest coming on today, and Andrew Fenichel, someone who's been on my For You page for the past year and never thought I'd see the day where I'd get to interview someone like him. And we're just going to keep going up and up. Thank you guys so much for the support and going into college. Just say some prayers for me so I can get used to the situation and hopefully pump out as much content for y'all as I can while focusing on my studies. I'm recording this in post because I had work today and I was on a crunch. So yeah, but without further ado, welcome to Tipped Off. I'm your host, Luke Dunlap. Let's get started. What's good, y'all? Welcome to the show. Once again, we've got a guest coming on soon, but for now, I want to get into some initial things. Later on in the episode, Andrew Fenichel and I are going to go over the situation of Jonathan Kuminga, Cam Thomas, and Josh Giddey. On top of that, we are going to figure out the ideal Christmas Day matchups. There's a graphic going around already that I've just posted. I'm recording this after I have done the part with Andrew, but this part I'm going to try and pour my heart out into, though it might not be as interesting. Just bear with me here. I really want to talk about these major things. And I'm going to beat a dead horse. Welcome to the NBA offseason. Everyone just says the same stuff, just with different flavor. And I'm going to talk about Luka's extension. 3 years, 165 million. I'm looking at Google and it's saying that there is currently a chance that he can be paid up to $400 million in if he decides to extend with the Lakers, which is just mind-boggling to me, first of all. $400 million is just showing how much the like Jordan only made 90 million in his entire career. And we're talking about Luka making 400 million in the span of 5 years. Like that gap is just insane. It's fun to watch. Now, money really, I mean, in the eyes of these guys, it's just a big number to show the fans, I feel like at some point, because $400 million, what are you doing with that? But anyway, businessman stuff aside, I think this is huge for the Lakers, and it immediately bumps their offseason from kind of mediocre, picking up Marcus Smart and picking up DeAndre Ayton. Huge, huge pickups. It's just in the West, you're not really going to be doing that much with that. I mean, they did the best they could. They can't get anyone else in free agency. It's just going to be a matter of what can they do with what they have? And when you've got teams like the Thunder, Rockets, and Nuggets, who I think are going to be, I think the record in the regular season is going to be neck and neck in the West, just like it was this year. But in reality, instead of there being seven contenders, there's only going to be three, I think, and that's going to be Thunder, Rockets, and Nuggets because a they're on such a higher tier of like skill in terms of everyone else. Now would I love for Golden State to pull out a miracle and win it all? Absolutely. Anyone would. Anyone would love their favorite team to pull out a miracle. And realistically, I mean, I feel like it's not out of the question, but in terms of like most likely, it's just going to be those three. I don't even think anyone in the East can compete with this. It's just going to be it's gonna be like a rendition of 2018. It was like, what was it? That span of like 2017 to 2021 where it was just like, well, whoever's in the West is winning it. Now, granted, you had exceptions like the Raptors and Bucks, which the Raptors is kind of a Mickey Mouse considering the whole injury thing. But regardless, it was just more so. I feel like it's going to be a lot West, or it's still going to be West heavy. It it'll be like that for the next few years until people move. That's how it's always been. Like when you looked at when LeBron went to LA, it was just West heavy and all that. And whenever Golden State got KD, it was just a matter of that. But and even in the 90s and stuff like that, you had those super teams out east and they it took a while, but it switched over to the west. There's always going to be an imbalance in the conferences, but this is going to be our one thing that's kind of like we're going to have to deal with the west for a bit. And there's going to be talk of abolishing the conferences. I don't think you do that. You probably can't, to be honest, because that would cost the NBA so much money and cost the players so much mental fatigue. Because I mean, think about it. You're playing in a 7 game series against someone out east for like the Lakers would be playing like the Bucks in the first round. And instead of it being like the finals where that's the only team, those are the only teams going across the country to play each other, do that 7 more times and you've got the playoffs, just not going to work out realistically. I mean, I would like it in a sense of let's just make it more interesting to watch, but it just realistically wouldn't happen. But sidetrack aside, I get sidetracked a lot. Let's talk about Luca and how his extension works out here. I think his extension works out perfectly for the Lakers because they have him locked down for the future. This year is not about winning. This year, it's not. It really isn't. It's about finding that transition point from LeBron to Luca. And Luca's doing great, Men's Health Magazine, all that, getting in shape, playing in Slovenia in the Euro League whenever that starts up. Just focusing on conditioning, which you can say what you want about him flaunting it constantly, going on the Yankees broadcasting program and doing an interview and all that, which is very out of character. But if you're a Laker fan, I guarantee you, you're not complaining about hearing Luka Doncic's name everywhere because he got healthy. Not at all. In fact, you'd much rather hear that than him not hear anything about him and him coming back the same way the next season, out of shape. But it's just a matter of what is it going to do in the next 2 to 4 years? Because assuming he signs the max extension on the 4 years thing, because this year, obviously, you're not winning anything. Next year, you might have a chance if you build a team around, because with LeBron most likely retiring, you're going to have 50 million in cap space to go sign whoever you want. You can either save that for the 27 free agency class, which is going to be absolutely stacked, even if a lot of those guys accept their qualifying offers. Like I guarantee you, like even taking out of the equation Nikola Jokic, Steph Curry, and some other guys that are pretty much guaranteed to sign contract extensions with the team they're on, it's still going to be a very deep free agency class, and the Lakers could go after somebody like that. You just got to find a way to hand the keys to Luca and get him a second option. And I think down the road, especially once SGA and all of them, whenever everyone is ready to get a contract extension, like when all these guys are eligible to get bigger bags on teams like the Thunder and on teams like maybe the Rockets to an extent, not much, but more so the Thunder than the Rockets. But once the Thunder have to split up due to money reasons, then you're going to see a lot of teams have a chance, and the Lakers are going to be one of those teams I imagine to buy into that and want to take themselves to the next level and be able to contend in that spot. And I think they've got a great start for the near future, not this year and not in the way far ahead future, but in the near future. Now, speaking of near future and far future, I want to transition over to our second contract extension, which is De'Aaron Fox. Now, looking at his contract, I'm pretty sure it was 4 million, or not 4 million, 4 year. Let me look this up. It was 4 years. His extension is for 4 years, 229 million. That he is completely deserved. Absolutely deserved. Nothing like he played out of his mind and he earned every dollar, every cent of that contract. But I don't understand why the Spurs did it. At least gave him that much money, or at least maybe 4 years, I'm pretty sure you don't have to sign them to a 4 year max. I know you have to sign to a 4 year if you want to sign and trade them, but clearly they don't want to sign and trade De'Aaron Fox. I'm pretty sure you can give like a 2 to 3 year max. Because now my issue is, do you give him an extension? Absolutely. Do you give him a max? Yes. But now I'm gonna be really honest. This part could be completely irrelevant if you do, in fact, have to have 4 years for your max. But I don't think you do. I think, in fact, Luca signed for 3 years. That's his max. Yeah, 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 yeah. So I don't understand why they wouldn't extend him for 3 years, see where it goes, Because now I feel like that fourth year is going to be crucial. Because that fourth year, you're going to have guys like Dylan Harper, Stephon Castle, and whoever else you guys get. they're gonna want an extension, and with this money, heck, Wemby, and with this money, are you even gonna have enough space to keep those guys? And let's be real, I mean, the Spurs, they have great potential for the future, but they just aren't gonna if they don't keep their core, like their young core. Like De'Aaron Fox, I'm not saying he's an unk or yeah, he's not like unk, he's not old by any means, but he's a veteran guard. And I just don't know if you keep him on that contract. Like, I can just see a lot of Bradley Beal in this, you know? I see a lot of because I mean, think about it. De'Aaron Fox is very athletic. He's relying on his athleticism. I think he's the fast. I want to say he's the fastest player in the NBA currently. Now I want you to look at Russell Westbrook. hmm Look at Russ, okay? And look how fast he regressed compared to everyone else. Like you look at what he's around the same age as Steph, if not a bit younger, and he is nowhere near the level of Steph. Why? Because he relied so much on his athleticism and body to get him where he needed to go. And naturally, as a human, the older you get, the less athletic you are going to be. And I see a lot of this in De'Aaron Fox. I see a lot of he might regress in the next, like maybe not in the next 3 years, but on that fourth year, he might regress a bit to where he's not as athletic, he's not as fast. And while he does have a little bit of shooting, he's a good shooter. It's just he is relying on that speed, and that's gonna kill him, you know? That's gonna absolutely kill De'Aaron Fox if he gets older and older and he just keeps losing that. That'll be an issue in the Spurs, Now all of a sudden, instead of being able to sign Stephon Castle, or no, I'll go Dylan Harper. Instead of being able to sign Dylan Harper to a max contract and have him on your books for the next 5 years, you're stuck with an older De'Aaron Fox that is struggling to stay healthy. That's what I'm worried about. Now, the upside of this, I've been talking down about this. The upside of this is amazing. You've got De'Aaron Fox for 4 years. He's still amazing. He's still, what was it? He was the first clutch player of the year. He, like I said, really fast. Like he's still going to be the fastest player in 2 years probably. And it's just the downside. I don't know if I'm the GM at the Spurs, I don't take that risk for 4 years. I take it for like 2 or 3, but not 4. But honestly, I think the Spurs are fine. They're going to be a solid playoff team. And speaking of playoff teams, I think now's a good time to go into. I'm going to react to some power rankings because I was looking at these the other day, and I'm not sure how I feel about them. Okay, the East I'm going to go over a little bit briefly. I'm going to start on the West. I'm going to take a lot more time on the West because, like I said, the West is just stacked. I'm going to go from the top down, and then I'm going to re-rank what I would do from the bottom up. So let's get into it. So we're gonna start off OKC number one, of course. Yeah, that makes sense. Front runner to win it all once again this year. No doubt in my mind, they absolutely could. They won 68 games last season. They've done nothing but keep everybody. They've extended SGA, they've extended Jalen Williams and Chet Holmgren, though I think they pulled the trigger a little too early on Chet Holmgren. I think they still got him locked down, which is good. Then the Nuggets at two. This is one that I know it's not like criminal that you put the Nuggets over the Rockets, but my personal beliefs, like in my personal opinion, I would put the Rockets over the Nuggets simply because of they have more depth, The Nuggets have a lot of guys like they brought back Bruce Brown. They got Cam Johnson in the trade with for Michael Porter Jr. And then they got Jonas Valanciunas, but they've lost Russell Westbrook. At least I think they have. And they've lost Michael Porter Jr., whatever. Yeah. And then they got Tim Hardaway Jr. So that's going to be a solid team. But like the Rockets, they gave up Cam Whitmore because they had so many guys already coming off their bench that were able to put up numbers. Like that team is going to be scary deep. And on top of that, they've got arguably one of the best scorers of all time in Kevin Durant on your team now. I just think Houston has the edge. Then they have Houston at three. Okay, whatever. Yeah, that makes sense. Minnesota at 4, I hard disagree with. I say hard disagree because I put them at 5, but I put the Clippers above them, who they have at 5. Because the issue is they just got objectively worse. You know, they lose Nikhil Alexander-Walker in free agency. The only thing that is good for them is the fact that they've got Anthony Edwards on their team, and he is 100% going to take another leap in this offseason. That's going to be great. I think that will be their key X factor is Anthony Edwards, but I don't think they're going to be the fourth best team. I think they're going to be the fifth best, but by no means. I think the Clippers are objectively better. It's all going to be on like it's all going to be on players like Rob Dillingham. It's all going to be on like Julius Randle. Can he stay consistent? Can Gobert stay healthy? All this stuff. Like just a lot of that. And the Clippers, speaking of injury concerns, the Clippers at 5, they got, like I said, John Collins, Brook Lopez, Chris Paul, Bradley Beal, and they've only lost Norman Powell. It's the unction for sure, but if they can stay healthy and stay connected and work together well, this team is going to be scary. And I don't like dark horse for conference finals, not a championship. Like, let's be real. I've pretty much accepted that. Like I've been beating the dead horse of like all that. And the NBA.com question here is how valuable is depth? That shouldn't be the question. Depth is extremely important. The question is how many times are we going to see the stretcher? Well, not the stretcher, but like how many times are we going to see somebody on the injury report, you know? Stretcher was a little dark. No, not that. I hope we don't see anybody in a stretcher. Just want to put that out there. But it's really injury concerns with all these guys because they're old and they're getting some and like they're getting up there in age and of course you've got injury prone guys like James Harden already on the team and with Bradley Beal getting older and all that it really is just a giant game of injuries. Now 6 they have the Lakers and 7 they have the Warriors. I'm switching those two personally. Like serious bias aside, I'm the Warriors are better than the Lakers still. Sure, they don't have a center yet. They still just got Quentin Post, but there's still going to be, and I know they can't technically do this, but all signs point to the Warriors bringing back Gary Payton II, signing Al Horford, and bringing back DeAnthony Melton once Jonathan Kuminga re-signs. That's deep enough, you know, to take over what the Lakers have. I mean, they brought in DeAndre Ayton, Jake LaRavia, and Marcus Smart. Huge additions to the bench and a starting center, you know, but they've still got a decently shallow bench. I mean, people hype up Gabe Vincent, but that's what I call Lakerflation, folks. He's great, but he's not like, or he's good, but he's not great. He's like, okay. He's no Moses Moody. He's no Jonathan Kuminga, which he'll probably be on the Kings by the time I'm looking at this back in like what, December? Yeah. But the Warriors at 7, yeah, okay. And then giving up Kevon Looney. Oh my goodness, can't believe that. Dallas at 8. I like this. I think that's perfect for them because obviously D'Angelo Russell, Cooper Flag, waiting on you're waiting on Kyrie to come back. It's just gonna be time to get used to it. And this team is very iffy. It's just very hit or miss. But that's always how it is with the Mavericks. I mean, one season, you're in the NBA Finals. The next season, everyone's injured. You know, it's just a matter of flip a coin. Welcome to Dallas sports. You know, Cowboys fans suffer in the NFL. You've got Mavericks fans suffering here. I don't know about hockey. I don't pay attention to hockey. I probably should, but I don't. And then in baseball, they just got the Rangers, and well, I don't watch baseball either. So yeah, Grizzlies at 9, I hard disagree with. They seriously like the Grizzlies are so overhyped. I will always say this. They're overhyped. They are they've done is lose guys. I mean, sure, you've got KCP, Ty Jerome, and Cedric Coward as the guys you got. And Cedric Coward you just drafted. So it's not really going to be something that takes immediate effect now, but it definitely is going to be a matter of this year ain't going to be it. And then the Spurs at 10, I swap the Grizzlies and Spurs. Let's be real. Spurs have way too much talent. I was just dogging on them for extending De'Aaron Fox for that much, but let's be real. They're much better than the Grizzlies. Heck, they could even take over the spot of the Mavericks. They're that good. Wembanyama is coming back from spin jutsu training for crying out loud. Like, is gonna be weird. And then the fact that that type of team is the 10th seed on power rankings just goes to show how stacked the West is, by the way. You put the Spurs in the East and they're a top six seed, if not top four. They're amazing. The East is just so low. Trailblazers at 11, I like. I think people really are sleeping on him, and especially now after Damian Lillard coming back there, that locker room presence and that veteran voice in the players' ears is just going to be so good for especially guys like Scoot Henderson, and this team will do a lot better than people say. And also, I really like Young Hansen, or however you say it, Young Hansen. I like him, I really do. Kings at 12 is just blasphemy. Let's be real. There are not three teams that are worse than the Kings. Maybe one. Kings are terrible. They're going to be terrible. If they can pick up Kaminga, good. Hit the reset button yet again. The Kings are just so irrelevant, and they always will be irrelevant if they don't do anything. I mean, the last time they did something good was make the three seed in 23 and get blown out by yours truly by 50. Not yours truly, but my team. You know, Steph gave him 50 to send him home. Yeah, shut that beam down. Then the Suns at 13. Okay, I can get behind that. And then Pelicans at 14 is just fraud. People don't understand. Why are we counting? I hate this is one of my biggest pet peeves in all of sports. Whenever we instantly count in injuries like they're destined to happen. Like people are already betting on Zion getting hurt within the first 2 weeks. Sure, he's had a history of it, but like why are we ranking based on that? Now, you can of course take into account DeJounte Murray is still going to be I think it's torn Achilles. He'll be working on that. Obviously, that will be something. But in reality, this team is just too good. They got Jordan Poole, Kevon Looney, Jeremiah Fears, and drafted Derek Queen. They've only lost Bruce Brown and CJ McCollum. This team has a lot of talent. Can they put it together? Probably not. But I can't see them being the second worst team in the in the Western Conference. And then the Jazz at 15, yeah, they suck. They're gonna suck. Ace Bailey, doesn't matter. They're gonna suck. Now let's go over to the East, and I'm just going to cover that real quick. It's not going to be too long. Like I said, I'm just going to run through that. I just really think that the East is boring other than the top four. But, we always are just kind of chilling with the East. It's fun to watch, Every now and then people like watching Heat games. They like watching Nets games. But let's get to the big dogs. By the way, let's go through the list of before I forget, I'm gonna go down the Western Conference. So if I had to go based on power rankings, 15 is going to be the Jazz, of course. 14, I'm putting the Kings. 13, I'm putting probably the Suns. 12, the Pelicans. 12 and 11 are tied for the Pelicans and Blazers. 10 is going to be the Grizzlies. 9 is going to be the Spurs. 8 is going to be the Pelicans, or not the Pelicans, the Mavericks. 7 and 6 up in the air for Warriors and Lakers. 5 seed, I'm putting the Timberwolves. 4 seed, I'm putting the Clippers. And then Nuggets at 3, Rockets 2, Thunder 1. All right, let's get into the East. So starting out, we've got, of course, the Cavs at 1. I disagree. I'm putting the Knicks. I'm taking the Knicks at 1. Yes, you added Lonzo Ball and brought back Larry Nance Jr., but you lost Ty Jerome and Isaac Okoro. That's really just gonna hurt you at the end of the day. That's gonna hurt. Not too much because, like I said, you're in the East now. If you're in the West, that might drop you 3 playoff spots. But since you're in the East, it'll only drop you one, if at all. And then two, the Knicks. Like I said, just swap those two. Jordan Clarkson is a great pickup. Same with Gerson Yabusele, and they haven't even lost anybody. We're still waiting on Achiuwa and Campaign to re-sign, but we still don't know. That'll be later on, right before season, all that fun stuff. And Mike Brown taking over as coach. I guess that's why they have it, because the coaching switch up there. But Mike Brown's still a very good coach, championship caliber coach. Both I think he was a coach when Braun made the finals in 2007, and he was the assistant coach whenever The Warriors went on all their runs. So yeah. And then three, the Magic. I love the confidence on this. I really do. I think I'm putting the Hawks here personally, but this team is still very good. Then they actually have the Pistons at four. Listen, I love Detroit basketball as much as the next guy, but the Magic and Hawks are better than them. And then five, the Hawks. I'd probably put Detroit here. Picking up Porzingis, Luke Kennard, Nickeil Alexander-Walker within the span of like 3.5 hours is crazy. All in separate deals, I'm pretty sure too. And they've only really lost. It says a lot, but really, like the names there for what they're getting is so much better. Trae Young, you're fine, dude. And then Milwaukee at six. Yikes. I don't know. Philly at seven. Yeah, okay. That's cool. Miami at eight. I like that. People are starting to wake up, realize, holy crap, Andrew Wiggins was an all-star 2 years ago or 3 years ago. And holy crap, we have Norman Powell now. We have our starting five filled out. We don't have a hole in our starting five anymore. People are starting to realize the Heat are better than what they're going to be. They're not going to win anything, but definitely are a good team. Pacers at nine because the Halliburton injury, likewise. Yeah, and then losing Miles Turner is just not going to be well for the Pacers. But overall, in the long run, I think we'll see a breakout season from both Nimhard and Aaron Nesmith. So I'm really excited to see how that plays out. I will be tuning in to Pacers games specifically to watch those two young guys shine because that will be the one good thing that comes out of Halliburton's injury is these two guys being better in themselves and developing as players. They played really fun, and Ben Mathurin too. Like it's just it'll be fun. Then the Raptors at 10. Ooh, I don't know. Because I mean, they're pretty complete. They've got Scotty Barnes who's probably going to take another leap. You've got Emmanuel quickly. They picked up Colin Murray Boyles out of South Carolina. They lost Chris Boucher, which the Celtics finessed them, by the way. 3.3 million for Chris Boucher is a robbery, dude. He deserves so much more. But they've got like quickly, they've got Grady Dick. It's just a good team. They've got what's his name? It's late, y'all. It's midnight right now. I just got off my shift. Jakob Poeltl. How could I forget? Good old Poeltl. Extended him. I'm pretty sure it was 4 years, 108 million. They got him locked down. They've got a decent squad. I'm not sure. They're definitely the dark horse here. They can make a five. They can make a 12. That's just how they are. And then the Bulls, yeah, they've just lost and lost. They lost Lonzo Ball. They got Noah Essengay and Isaac Okoro. That'll be good. Patrick Williams can come off the bench now. That'll be good. Lord knows he needs to take a step back. And then the Celtics at 12. Sorry, Chantel. They suck. They're gonna suck. Um, they lost just about everybody because of money. That really was all it was money. But there were better ways to go about it, and they just decided to blow it up. Not looking good for the Celtics right now. Hornets at 13. Yeah, Con Knipple coming in is going to be huge. Pat Connaughton, Colin Sexton, and they got Spencer Dinwiddie. I forgot about that. That'll be a good squad. That's an underrated squad, but it's just too young. Still too young. Still have no direction. LaMelo Ball, if he can stay healthy, will be decent. But yeah, don't bet too hard on the Hornets, guys. The Wizards at 14 could definitely be higher. 'Cause, I mean, Trey Johnson, I love the guy. Alex Sarr is going to 100% take another leap. And they added CJ McCollum and picked up Cam Whitmore. Gonna be great. And they only lost Jordan Poole. So, and I'm pretty sure I heard a rumor that CJ McCollum is not being or is being shopped right now to where they don't want him on the roster come crunch time. I'm not sure if it's trade deadline, beginning of season. I don't see how beginning of season because the recently traded rule. This ain't 2K. We can get assets and flip them, but whatever, to each his own. And then the Nets at 15. Yeah, they're gonna suck. It's just not gonna be great for them. But yeah, I think I'd agree with the East. I'm not really gonna do my own rankings because I feel like the gist is there. You really only need to get to the top five, and I pretty much gave you all the top five. I can just do that right now. Pistons five, Magic four, Hawks three, Cavs two, Knicks one. That'd be my power rankings. But for now, I think it's time that we get into the part that you guys have probably been here for. So, fans of his, Andrew Fenichel, man, I'm just gonna hand it over to past me, and you guys will be seeing the interview. All right, we'll see y'all soon. Yo, what's up, guys? Luke Dunlap here, tipped off once again, back at it. I'm here with Andrew Finichel. Did I say that right?
Pretty much, you did better than a lot of people do. A lot of people go Fenichel. I don't know how
Ooh,
you got that one, right? It's
how,
sort of
what's
like it's like Fenichel, like
Finichel?
NHL.
Okay, yeah,
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 a little
yeah. I got
soft
you.
CH. So you're right there.
And folks, this guy has been coming up on my For You page for like the past year, like nonstop, specifically on YouTube. I haven't seen him much on IG, but his YouTube, great. He's just he knows ball. Let's just say that. He knows ball. And I just wanted to have him on the show today just to kind of ask him a few things. So mainly, how did you get started in all this?
Yeah, it's a good question because I think a lot of social media content creators get started, well, a lot of them got started during COVID, but I came at this from very much the traditional journalism path. I went to journalism school. I graduated with a Bachelor of Science in Journalism from Northwestern, and as all of my friends were going and taking big J journalism jobs, right, that I'm sure the school loved, Washington Post, Cincinnati Enquirer, Houston Chronicle, like big time journalism stuff, or even doing like the local television route, which is probably what would have made sense for me at the time. I saw this opportunity on the internet and I saw this opportunity to sort of create my own thing and give my own opinion and sort of bypass the traditional route and sort of bet on myself and take a chance. So about 3.5 years ago, I started really posting and trying to take this serious. And, now we're here, man. This is what I get to do. And I'm blessed every day.
For sure, man. Um, so was there like a switch that flipped or something? Because like for me, I'm taking what people would call the traditional route. I'm going to college to pursue all of this. I'm going to learn like I specifically chose a college that would let me go into like my major is literally sports media productions. So like
So, well,
they
yeah.
really focus in on this. So yeah, shout out Arkansas State on this one, and it's close to where I live. So was there like, because I'm sure people were constantly in your ear, like, oh, you want to do media, you got to go to college for it and all that. What was the thing that really made you say, like, screw this, I'm doing this way?
You want my honest answer? It's the
Absolutely.
exact opposite of what you said. You know who Jay Adonde is?
Heard the name, yeah.
Former former LA Times journalist who covered the
Yeah.
Shaq and Kobe Lakers. Then he was at ESPN for a long time. He was big on Around the Horn. Rest in peace
Oh,
to that
yeah.
show. But yeah, absolute legend. He's now the sports journalism director at Northwestern. My senior year, I had a meeting with him, and he told me to my face he does not believe there is a route from local television to ESPN any longer.
Really?
He said and then Adonde is very much the traditional journalist, right? He
Hmm.
believes in the journalistic process and journalistic values and right, that's what he preaches. But when I told him, "Hey, my dream is to be Stephen A." He looked me in the face and said, "Then don't go take that job in
Right.
Peoria, Illinois or whatever and be a local TV reporter." And when I heard him say that, I was like, okay, wow, like then what am I doing here?
Right.
So I already kind of knew this was the direction I wanted to go. Then really hearing him say it and getting some more experience in the industry, I was like, yeah, there's just too much opportunity on social media. And it looks too fun.
It
Like
really
why
is. I
wouldn't I
mean,
do it?
yeah, like I had a video on Damian Lillard coming back to Portland. It was I had a little beard action going on, or I say beard action. It was
There you
very
go.
bad. But it was
Hey,
more
mine's
so.
not great either. I got some
Dude,
patches here,
nah,
so
you
we're
go on
all
my
working on it.
I'll send you my TikTok that I made
Do it.
that got like 2,500 views or something. Dude, it was like they compared me to a certain 1940s dictator and it was bad. But since I've only got limited time with you, I think we're gonna get into two things. So, what are your thoughts on the Jonathan Kuminga situation? Because I have a really fun comparison, but I want to hear your thoughts on it first.
Well, now I kind of want to hear your thoughts on it,
Okay,
but
so
you go
I guess
ahead.
I'll start. So
Yeah.
Jonathan Kuminga, the situation to me is like that one guy in like high school or like that one guy in college that's like all these girls that he doesn't want to date him but the girls he wants don't want to date
Mhm.
him.
Yep.
So
Sounds
he's
like me.
like, it's like kind of, hey, me too. But it's just kind of like he's stuck wanting so much. And this is the case because it's what three of the main restricted free agents are asking for 30 million. It's Josh
Yep.
Giddey, Cam Thomas, and Kuminga. And the
Yep.
thing is, there's issues with all three of them. You know, you've got Kuminga being played limited minutes, not which is not of his nothing on his own fault. You know, that's more so Steve Kerr and his ideology of it. As a Warriors fan myself, I think that we had so much potential on that just thrown out the window. And then Cam Thomas, well, I'm gonna get to him last because Josh Giddey, he played great, but he was on the Bulls. You know, like it's kind of like the LaMelo Ball effect. I mean, he averaged 25 on the Hornets. You know.
Yep.
But with Cam Thomas, the issue is I'm pretty sure he averaged around 17 or 18, I want to say. And you're on the Nets, you know, your star player is Cam Johnson, which nothing against Cam Johnson. He's an amazing player. But like you are the number 2 option on the not the worst team in the league, but by far the least top heavy team in the league. And
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
you're only averaging 18 and asking 30 million. Like, should you get paid a bag? Yes. But like this is 30 million dollars that we're talking about. Like that is something I would imagine like veteran like I wouldn't want to say Kyrie Irving, but like a like slightly under the level of veteran Kyrie Irving. Because like the max right now is what, 55 million? We just saw Luka get signed for I believe it was 55 million a year for three.
Sure.
That that is tier one, right? And then like your tier twos would be like 40 to 35 million. That would be where like Kyrie signs, your like veteran James Harden's, you know. 30 million? Like I'm sorry,
A lot of money.
you're an
Yeah.
amazing player, but you are no James Harden.
Here's the problem, and I'll use your own analogy because I like it. Kaminga is the guy, right, who wants to date the hot girl in school, but she's not giving him any respect back. Except the reason he wants to is because his boy dated her last year. Like
Mm,
Emmanuel quickly's getting 32.5 million. This is the problem. Like RJ Barrett's getting 29 million or whatever, right? I can go down the list. Jordan Poole's getting 33 million or so. I
Jakob
don't know, right?
Poeltl.
Pirtle's getting 4 years, 80 million or
Yeah.
whatever the number is. Like it's you have like Kaminga obviously believes in himself, which is dope, and he thinks he's that dude as he should because big time recruit, did the over or G League Ignite thing, top pick, like played well in the second round last year. So he doesn't want to look around the league and be like, wait a second, Emmanuel Quickly is getting 32 and a half and I'm only worth like 18. Like hell no, right?
Right.
So and then, yeah, you're telling me I've got to take this girl to prom? Exactly, right? It's like, so what's so interesting to me about this situation is that no matter which way you look at it, from the team angle, the Warriors aren't doing the wrong thing. It's kind
Right.
of a shitty thing they're doing by, extending the qualifying offer and essentially locking him in if he doesn't if he says no. Kaminga's not doing the wrong thing because he looks around the league and his agent's like, well, this guy's worth X, that means we're worth Y. So, and then from the league standpoint, I think the second apron is now just scared off all these teams from giving out 25 million for Cam Thomas or what
Right.
Josh Giddey. And it's all just sort of like nobody's right, nobody's wrong, and that's why we're at this stalemate.
You're exactly right. It's these teams that are overpaying for their like I'm not saying Emmanuel Quickly is like a mediocre player because he's amazing, you know, he's a great player. But like paying him 32 million and stuff like that and overpaying the Raptors single-handedly, you could argue, are a major reason for why Kuminga and these restricted free agents are in a situation like this because they're like, well, Toronto's paying everybody this.
Right.
Um, the Spurs paying everybody. Well, I say that Fox kind of deserved that contract. So, but the thing is, they're all wanting that. And if it were me and I was the GM, I think Kuminga and all of them, I would give them like a solid 22 million a year, like literally just an $8 million pay cut,
But see,
and
I
then
don't even know
have
why
them
Kaminga would
prove it.
want that. If I'm Kaminga, fine, like I would say like just dump me for anything. I'll take 4 mil. If I really believe in myself that much, get me to the Kings, let me start
Hmm.
and take 15 shots a game. Like I wouldn't want to play on the
Exactly.
Warriors where I know like me and Steve Kerr don't have a good relationship and I'm probably gonna have inconsistent minutes. Like I don't even want that. So I don't even know
Yeah,
why Kuminga is playing like hardball here because that's not good either. I
it's
don't know.
not. And
Honestly, take the qualifying offer, run it back in unrestricted free agency next year. That's what I would do.
I see, I'm a fan here. I'm trying to get something out of this guy, hold up on the qualifying offer stuff. But with Kaminga, I mean, yeah, if I also, yeah, I'm with you. Like, just give me a 4-year deal and trade me because you have to have a 4-year deal in order to be traded in a sign and trade. Get me over to the Kings, which,
Right.
speaking of which, they offered him Malik Monk and a 2030 first round pick, and we
Shame you
still
guys
said
turned that
no.
down. What are you doing?
Yeah, I mean, I get it. If you have to, like, if you want me to be honest, it's Steve Kerr wanting to protect his precious boy Pajimski's starting spot. So yeah, holy
Monk's
stutter right
Monk
there.
won six man of the year 2 years ago. He can play
Yeah, he
that role.
can. Yeah, I mean, he's a great. I mean, I love it because I'm also like I'm an Arkansan, seeing Moses Moody
Yeah, yeah,
and Malik Monk playing on the same team and on my
right.
favorite NBA team is just like a fever dream for me.
Yeah,
So it's kind of like that would be fun, but also I get where he's coming from of like we don't need guards, but like the
kind of
whole
do.
the whole Golden State has no bigs thing is about to go out the window. You've got Quentin Post, obviously. That's not okay, whatever. We're about to sign Al Horford because sources have already, everything has been all but confirmed that we are going to sign Horford, DeAnthony Melton, and Gary Payton II once
Mhm.
Kuminga gets figured out. And then on top of that, since 2023, we've been hearing rumors about Nikola Vucevic. So the
Yeah,
whole now, I mean, Kevon Looney is my third favorite player in the NBA, so it like hurt my heart to see
yeah,
him go.
yeah.
But we're getting stuff out of him. But that's really just kind of how it is. RFA, because of these overpays, you hit it right nail in the coffin, is specifically because these overpaying people want more. And now
Right.
for my next thing to go into, this one's kind of gonna be fun. It's I've made the 5 Christmas Day games. I made the matchups for. So I'm gonna go over to my notes real quick and I'm gonna list you those people. So I've got for my 10, so there's 5 games. So I've got 10 teams and then some maybes. So my
Okay.
10 teams are the Thunder, obviously, Rockets, Nuggets, Knicks, Warriors, Cavs, Wolves, Lakers, Bucks, and Clippers. And the Clippers is my
Mhm.
maybe. I'm thinking about adding the Pistons instead of the Clippers. And then maybe
Okay.
we could, and then, because my thing is, I would either want to do a Battle of LA for Christmas or a rematch of Knicks Pistons for Christmas. I feel like Knicks Pistons is more likely,
Yep. Yep.
and then my maybes are the Spurs, Celtics, Mavericks, Hawks, and Magic. The Celtics are only on there because of their like
Of course,
history. And I
pedigree.
don't have the
Yeah.
Pacers on here because Halliburton's injured and all that. Same reason I don't have what was it? Well,
The
no.
Mavs.
Yeah, Mavs. That's the reason why I
There we
didn't why
go.
I barely have the Mavs on there. Mavs,
Yeah.
they're a maybe because of Cooper Flag.
Right.
But for my
They're still
matchups,
good, but yeah.
yeah. The thing is, I saw what was it? It was Tim McMahon on the Hoop Collective. He says um the Mavericks are just like a few Anthony Davis missed games away from calling it a Cooper Flag development season.
Oh, I disagree with that. That's
Really?
crazy.
I,
They PJ Washington, Daniel Gafford, Derek Lively, like
yeah.
a bunch of guard. I mean,
They've got
I
a
still
good
think they need
squad,
another
yeah.
guard, but like
But in this modern day NBA where we have
the West is tough, but
yeah,
I don't know about all that. That's
the
a
thing
little
is
crazy.
you put a play-in team in the West you put a Western Conference play-in team in the East and they make the 5 seed.
Yeah.
It's
Yep.
it's it's honestly just hell for them. But my matchups, I'm gonna get into this and then I want to hear your input on this.
Okay.
So I've got Warriors Rockets as a rematch because you get a playoff rematch and it's Steph versus
Durant.
KD.
Yeah, true.
And then I've got Thunder Nuggets, a rematch of the 7 game because you
Yeah.
can't go Thunder Pacers because Tyrese is injured. So what's the next best thing? The battle of the 2 MVPs from the previous season, Jokic and SGA.
Yep.
And then this one's kind of out of left field. I've got Timberwolves Bucks. I think that center play of Miles Turner versus like Rudy Gobert and Julius Randle and then Giannis, that front
Mhm.
court battle is going to be lethal. And then on top of that, you just got to get Anthony Edwards in Christmas Day. I think
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just gonna beat a dead horse here. He's a sleeper MVP candidate, like everyone's been saying. I mean, it's true. And then Cavs Knicks. This one could be replaced with Knicks Pistons, and then Lakers Clippers. And then my maybe is Hawks Magic.
These are good. And we can't do any matchups we had last year, right?
Right,
Like
right.
Lakers, Warriors, they
Lakers
wouldn't do
Warriors is
that.
off the table. Right.
Because that game was so good that I would
It
honestly
was.
say, like, let's run that back. But yeah, assuming we can't do that, yeah, Warriors Rockets is a great call because of the KD angle. Like
Hmm.
that makes that matchup.
And also just the past like 5 years of like Warriors Rockets rivalry, ever since like the dynasty, they
Yeah,
always played each other in the
100%.
playoffs.
100%. Uh yeah, you said Thunder Nuggets.
Yes.
It's hard to argue with that.
Yeah.
See, I think the Bucks are going to be horrible this
I
year.
I agree,
So
but
I
it's
Bucks aren't in my five.
yeah.
In the East, I like Cavs Knicks.
Hmm.
That feels strong. I think I would throw the Magic in there
Okay.
and do Magic. I think Magic Clippers could be kind of fun.
Ooh, that would be really good. Deep team versus deep team. I like that.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going. Okay, so I'm going Thunder Nuggets. Agree with you there. Warriors Rockets. Agree with you there. Wolves Magic.
Okay.
Cavs Knicks. And then who's playing the Lakers? That's the question.
Uh, let's
I'll
see
go
who else.
Mavs.
Oh yeah, we could
Do
do
Mavs.
Mavs. Yeah.
Luca revenge game. AD revenge
Oh
game.
my gosh, yeah. Dude, that would be a banger Christmas
Perfect.
Day lineup. That's
Done.
perfect. You got it right there.
What's the first game of the day and what's the last?
Okay, first game of the day, you got to start off with
It's the East game.
yeah, I'd say Cavs Knicks first.
Yep. Yep.
Cavs Knicks first. Ended off with either Warriors Rockets or Lakers Mavs.
Yeah. It feels like they always put the Lakers second to last, right?
That's true,
Maybe
they
I'm making
do.
that up. So I think
Yeah,
Lakers Mavs second to last. I think Thunder Nuggets because it's smaller market teams is the third game.
right.
And then what did we say was last?
Warriors Rockets.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a banger, dude.
It's
I love it.
that is like I'm making a
Oh, that'd
graphic
be
out of
so
this.
good.
Like, yeah, be sure to send me your matchups because I want to see
We'll
those and I'm
do.
gonna make a graphic of that.
We'll do.
But yeah, this has been just like really good. So yeah, anything else you want to say before we hop off here? I'm gonna continue, folks. I'm gonna continue my portion for the rest of the episode. This has been a great, like I said in the opening note, like I couldn't imagine myself. Like I literally started making, I started this podcast 2 months ago. Like I
Awesome.
started when the playoffs started, and I started covering them. And there was a time I was recording on Audacity and without camera footage, and here I am, like I'm not big by any means, like I'm still DMing people off of my personal account because my podcast account has so little of a following. But we're getting there, and I appreciate you for coming
Absolutely.
on, and I wish you the best, man.
I appreciate it. Yeah, no, let me know how I can ever be a resource. Look, I still don't think I'm big. You know what I mean? It's all relative. Seriously,
Yeah,
like the number of people who do a podcast for one episode and then never do it again.
hmm,
You've already passed all of them, right? The fact that you're
right,
doing video and then you're gonna chop this up and maybe one of these clips does well. Like,
right.
just keep grinding, man. And like you're also, I mean, younger than I was when I started all this, right? So like you're ahead of the game in that sense. And
Yeah,
yeah, man, like I don't know. I try to always tell people like I'm just a normal guy. The fact that I get to do this for a living is I'm so appreciative every day. And but also I hope that's like a testament to like anybody can do this.
yeah.
As long
Anybody
as you work hard enough and figure it out. Yeah, man. I appreciate you having me on. This was fun.
for sure. Oh, one last thing. You're the first Wizards fan I've ever met. I think you're a Wizards fan, right?
Based on
Yeah,
the jersey on the wall,
yeah.
yeah.
Never met a Wizards fan before.
There aren't any in Arkansas.
No, everyone down here is either a Grizzlies or Thunder fan or a Mavericks fan.
Is it
Because like,
depending on where in the state you are?
no, not at
It's
all.
just
Like
random.
there's people in Northeast Arkansas that are Mavericks fans and people that
Okay.
are like pretty much in Texarkana that are Grizzlies fans. And
Why are you a
it's
Warriors fan?
Whenever I was so actually what got me in the Warriors was I was in first grade and it was around 2012 or so, and I was playing in my little league, and my coach was teaching us how to shoot, and he showed us a video of Klay Thompson shooting, right? It was actually Klay Thompson that made me a Warriors fan. It wasn't Steph. Now Steph is
Mm, of
still my favorite player,
course.
but Klay is what got me into watching the NBA and got me
Well,
into liking shooting and stuff like that. And so that's how I'm a Warriors fan, yeah. And
love
then
it.
I got really lucky when 2015 happened, so I'll
Yeah.
admit, like
And
I
can
was
you
like this close to becoming a bandwagon, this close to being a bandwagon.
right, right.
Yeah.
Can you so can you shoot like Clay now?
No, people ask me like who do you play like? Because I had a Q&A
Yeah.
and I was like, who do you model your game after and who do you play like? I was like, I model my game after Klay Thompson. I end up playing like 39-year-old Kyle Korver just sitting in the corner.
Hey
So
man, that's nothing wrong with that, you know?
yeah. Anyway, well, I'll let you get back to whatever you got to do, man. I appreciate you for coming on the show. And folks, we'll get
Absolutely.
back into the next section. Up next, we're going to be talking about the Luca extension along with De'Aaron Fox stuff and just a lot more free agency stuff, money talk, business talk, as it is. Welcome to the off season. Welcome to August, folks. But folks, that's going to be all for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. And as for me, I'm Luke Dunlap, clocking out on a high note. Take care, y'all. Peace.